So each morning when I come in, before I can put down any extra layers, and what I like to do my laminating in the morning when it's sort of at the best temperature, the best humidity. Generally here in autumn in Australia, it can be a bit dewy first thing in the morning, so the humidity's up until around 8 or 9 o'clock. Sun gets on the tent, all burns off, and it's all nice. Now, before I can lay down this cloth, now the beauty of this 600 double bias, as I keep saying, is you can lay it down, spray over the top, so you've already got your first layer down and almost bubble free before you do your consolidating tire layer, before I put the foam on. So, but what I like to do, and what is very important, is because when I went back to when we did the first 2 layers, we had 4 of us stomping around in here on fresh gel coat and a very bright white environment. It's almost like a snow blindness. You don't see the minuscule bubbles that can occur. And as I'm giving this a light sand to remove any furry bits or any little sharp parts that might cause a bubble in this layer, I like to identify whether there's actually bubbles in the first tire layer. Now, there was a couple of little bubbles, and they are inevitable, and I'll show you where they are. There are essentially 3 or 4 spots here that are just going to need a little top up of 300 CSM, 2 layers. I'll just whack in 2 layers to get it all level, and then I'll just ultimately just laminate this straight over the top, thereby filling the void underneath this layer. Last thing I want to do is pull out a beautiful deck. 2 days later, the sun gets on it, air bubbles everywhere. We want to have a nice clean finish and less repair work at the other end. Rather do it right now, where I can deal with it right in your face, rather than sort of, you know, out in the ocean and this big bubble come up because there's obviously a void underneath it. So there's a couple of spots. I'll just identify them now. I'll just show you where they are. I'm double bias down here now, right on the edge of this hatch. Found a couple of crackers. This one here, you can see there, that's actually a pretty substantial bubble. Now what I do is I sand the top off it, which is always a big lump, and then I'll Stanley knife around it, and then I'll fill it, and fill this one as well, fill this one as well. Now remembering this is going to be cut out, but I do want it good until I'm ready to action it. There's a couple of other ones over here. There's one there that I found. Cut that out with a Stanley knife, sand it back, clean it up. Got to give it a bit of a clean. Another little fella here, another one over here, and another one there. So quite a few, pretty substandard laminating, but you know, that happens with every job. The only way to avoid this is to do it myself all the way through, and I'd rather have a team getting the bulk down and sorting this problem out later on. There's another one right there. So really not too bad, given we did 85 square meters, 2 layers in 2 days. I think that's pretty good, given you know, given the speed with which we were working, and also the conditions we were working. Very, very hot, hard work, and almost in a bright white environment where you couldn't see a thing through the mask as they start to fog up and the like. So yeah, good effort. So it's simply a matter of a bit of 300 CSM, bit of resin, bit of catalyst, use a brush, fill them, and then go over the top with the 600. Righto, I'm getting there. I'm now down to the window inserts here, 4 layers all over. I'm just going to finish these side companionway laminates now. That's another 600 double bias, another 300 CSM. Ready for foam. I've pretty much done everything. The only thing I haven't done is on the top here. Now that's tomorrow afternoon. I'm going to do that one, and then that one as well. And I'll get all of that done, and then I'll be able to head headlong into putting foam down on all of this foredeck section. Pretty exciting stuff to get to the stage of foam. But yeah, I got my tunes on. I found that if I play music in the background, I get a copyright strike, and then they take any of the 14 cents I earn on a video. So yeah, I'm actually playing it through my earbuds, so that's probably why I'm talking a little bit loud. But yeah, it's been a big couple of days. I had Friday, I went in and saw my mate Brett, who's my dentist, and he's done a jaw bone graft and 2 more titanium inserts. So I am in a pretty ugly state, particularly today's Monday. That was the weekend. I just revolting, and anyone that's had them done knows exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, getting a new mouthful of teeth, and it's costing, and it's also not that pleasant. But anyway, let's get to work. Let's get spraying. A bit sick of seeing me in this suit. I'm sick of being in it. I'm going. Anyway, all good. Get to it. I've been summoned into the office. The reality is it's time to review the plan, and Janet does such a great job with the project management, so she'll be down here in a minute, but I'm coming in here and I'm looking very concerned look on my face when I look at this wall here, because although I've achieved quite a lot, there's a lot that I haven't achieved within the time frame that we thought we would. So these sort of critical pathways that we put here are not so critical to me, but certainly as things have evolved over the last month. It's been a pretty big month. It's time to review it, time to shuffle some stuff around and expand this part later in the year towards here to try to make it all fit in. So let's see how we go with that, eh? We'll wait for Janet to arrive and we'll get started. Oh, here she is. Hey, you ready?
Yeah.
Ready to grill me again?
I'm not going to grill you.
Nah, Janet doesn't grill me. I'm making out that Janet grills me. It's actually a work in progress.
These months are gone. If we put them over there.
Yep, I think so.
And then take off what you have done.
Yep.
And then that'll leave whatever's on there, and then we'll move them in.
Yeah, I think that's good. Let's move it along, because there's going to be a lot more on the other end. So, all right, let's have a look at what we got. Let's have a look. So February's gone, done and dusted. Put it on the done door. We're going to call this the done door. And March.
Gone.
Yeah, March is gone. It's the truth.
All right, so what did we do?
All right,
these are the major steps.
Yeah, the tent's done. The tent structure's done.
I'll move that there.
Get the tent out of there.
What's the tent 2? Oh, that was...
That's it. Tent 2 is done. Repair mould, that's done.
It's good. You should be doing this, not me.
Nah, it's good. Polish mould, that's done.
I said you haven't done anything.
Yeah, oh, up here, we've got one up here. I'm not sure why it's up here, but deck materials have been ordered. I've got them.
That's the order line.
I've already got all that.
So stick that up there.
Okay, all that stuff there needs to be sorted. So
that needs to come down here.
We've got gel coat the deck. Oh, that's done. Thank God for that. Now, we've got a 30-day laminating schedule here. I'm on target for that. But, yeah, I'm still going. I'm actually ongoing.
7, 14, 21.
Right, so this is where we're...
I didn't do that very well, did I?
No.
30 days, and I finished it after...
Yeah, you finished after 12 days.
14, 20, no.
21 days you gave me.
14, 21.
And I've been going for about 17 days.
So you've got another week.
Oh, good. Yeah, I need to list another week. All right, cool. All right, well, let's get on to the rest of it.
Anything else that we need to take off?
No, I think that's pretty right.
And we'll move next week across.
So what we're doing, we're moving everything along to the beginning of the timeline. This is the done door over here. So we've got a bit of a better picture as to
So your laminate
where we're actually at now.
Going on to...
So we're now spreading it out a little bit, and we're seeing the reality of the timeline here.
Well, you got...
Do you want to explain a little bit?
Well, I think we've just spread it out. We now, I mean, it was always the intention was that the later months would be bunched together and we would have to rethink it.
Yep.
Well, think it based on what happened.
Yep.
And so now we've done that for April, May and June. And, well, part of June. We're still going to leave July, August where it is. But I think this is very real for April because we're already here.
Yep.
And based on what you've done with the laminating, we'll get it finished.
Yeah, I'm on target. By the 3rd of May, I should have the laminating.
Plumbing goes on forever.
Plumbing goes on forever.
Apparently.
Apparently.
So we'll finish the laminate at the deck. We're going to put the engines in, and the electrics.
Yep. And
I keep saying to Ross, I would love him to put the electrician in because he's not doing it. I think one job I want.
Yeah. What's that? Is that a holiday there? Oh,
yeah, it is.
We're having a holiday.
Yeah, we are.
Cool. Nice.
So we're
another week off.
Holiday here, but then we're going to end up working all the weekends afterwards.
Yeah, that's okay. It'd be worth it though, Dale.
So stake forward and port head, starboard head have to be done before we take the deck.
So they have to be installed before I put the deck in, right? Because I can't
all
move it
of
up and down.
these have to be done
Yep.
before you can tear the tent down.
Yep.
And demold the deck. And we did have demold the deck in this weekend, but it's actually a 3-day weekend in Australia, and that will cost a fortune.
Yeah, the crane would be triple time probably.
Yeah. So we're going to try and get it so that I might have to work a couple of weekends and I might be deckhand again. We'll demold that weekend.
Yep.
And then we haven't moved anything.
I don't think we should go in there yet. I think we should leave that for another day.
Well, that might give you some sleep. Don't worry about that one.
Okay.
And the only other thing we're going to do now is just make sure that where we need to order or get ready for stuff.
Yep.
That we're just going to reorganise that bit now.
Cool. So the prep has been absolutely epic. Because this was laid up over a week ago, I've had to sand it. Now, I've only given it a very light sand, but then I've prepared it again with a styrene wipe, and that's given it a good clean surface. Beautiful thing about the 600 double bias is I can lay it down before I actually laminate it. So I'll lay it down and then wet it out. I can make sure that it is true. And as I've done with the rest of the boat here and the whole thing's been laminated in that fashion, and it's absolutely perfect. So I'm going to work on this area today. Every time I go to film something, these guys stick their head in a tent and make some smart-ass remark. It's classic mechanic talk, and it's something I have to edit out every time. So I'm not going to let you hear what they just said to me because it's a little bit not suitable for any TV or video, let alone YouTube. So as I said before I was rudely interrupted by those guys, I can actually lay this stuff down and then laminate it and then come over the top of it. So the nice thing is I don't have to wet it out before I put it down. Oh, while you were at anchor, or while you were sleeping, I just knocked over 2 layers up on the cockpit there. That was a bit of a challenge because I was painting myself in all the time. It was a bit easy when I had 4 people up there because we actually had people holding stuff and everything. But yeah, that was that was a bit of good fun. It's now night. I don't really know where the day went. That was a monster, but yeah, she's done. That's pretty cool. So let's review where I'm up to. Let's have a bit of a look. Oh, the foredeck, 4 layers. The mid deck, 4 layers. 4 layers down each of the side companionways, and 4 layers on the cockpit there. Now I've got to continue to do all of this area here, all around the cockpit mouldings is very, very important. That's actually a different laminate. It actually gives me bulk without weight, and very, very important. So a lot of that's going to be that sort of laminate rather than foam core. The big back wall here is actually 20mm foam. But there's a lot to do, but yeah, pretty happy to have that bit knocked over. That was a bloody epic. I've got to do that back lounge suite module, but you know, that can all wait because that's a sort of a less important part than all this is. So foam's coming up very soon. So I've just done a 6-day straight laminating session. Pretty much got 4 layers on the entire deck now. I've still got a little spot up here on, this is actually the cockpit moulding. So you imagine this is actually a seat at the rear of the cockpit, upside down and inside out. Today I'm going to concentrate up in here. I want to get all of this done, all of the flat surfaces that need foam, so I don't want to lose too much wall space, and similarly you don't want to lose too much head height either. Every time you add 30mm of foam or something, you're going to lose a centimetre of head height that you would otherwise have. So there is a very specific laminate for this whole deck. Now the preparation's just a bit epic. What I'm trying to show you throughout this part here is that the actual laminating takes maybe 2 hours, but the preparation might take 3 to 4. And what it is actually I've got to sand the whole surface because it's a couple of weeks since that was laminated. Now I'm using an unwaxed polyester resin on this whole build. It's actually a laminating resin, so it really never goes off until I finalise it. And finalising it either with peel ply or with a waxed coating or a waxed resin, a wax and styrene added to my resin to give me that flow coat effect, I guess you'd call it, with an external surface. Because remembering, although this is the internals of the boat, it is physically an external surface. It needs that wax to rise to the surface to allow it to actually set. So it's a bit like gel coat in its nature. So by doing these all in just standard wax laminating resin, I'm cutting down my prep time. I don't have to have that mechanical bond. I've sort of still got an effectively a bit of a chemical bond to the whole thing. One of the reasons why I choose that waxed or unwaxed resin to continue on with this. So I'll get this part done today. Tomorrow I'll be able to come in and just finish this last stripe here. Whole thing's ready for foam. Pretty friggin' stoked. Now it's going to take a big week of getting all the foam cut. There's going to be a lot of templating, a lot of getting it all shaped, because just about every surface of this deck needs to be covered in foam. And that's a combination of 10mm up the front, 20mm, 25mm, where I'm standing here on the cockpit floor, which is actually the cockpit roof, is a 30mm foam, and that's actually a good scored contour foam. So giving me obviously a lot of strength for when I'm walking around up on the top there dealing with the sail and the boom. And the other thing you got to remember too is where I'm standing here, there's no physical support underneath that whole, probably a 12-foot long section. Really there's no beams, there's no structure there other than the foam laminate, so it needs to be that thicker foam. And I'm going to probably start to talk about why we sandwich materials rather than just do straight laminates, and the differences in the strength that you can gain by adding thickness in your sandwich, such as a 12-inch I-beam as opposed to a 6-inch I-beam is obviously going to have more strength. I need a touch of sanity. Been inside that bloody mould for 6-7 weeks without really having a good break, so I'm going to go for a sail today. Jet and I are going to head out. We've been trying to get out for weeks, but there's just been no wind. It's classic autumn conditions here, and just no wind, and very, very mild conditions. So today we've got a 20-knotter nor'easter, so we're going to get out and give it a bash. So Janet reckons I need a bit of sanity. Don't you, darling?
Yeah, you need a break from the boat.
I do need a break.
So we're going on another boat.
Yeah, let's go boating. All right. So this area over here where we launched from is called the Lady Denman Museum. They built a couple of the Sydney ferries here, and the Lady Denman Manly ferry is actually in there, and it's a museum as well. And this is our launch site, so we've got to paddle out there and then drag across the sand flats to get to our boat because it's low tide. So any councils out there, design kayak launching ramps properly, you idiots.
Good on you, that's the way to it.
Well, come on. We actually tried to design this one and they still stuffed it up.
Ridiculous.
They are ridiculous.
I think we might be walking. Yeah, it's a bit sharp.
There's deep water here. There we go. It's my weight though, it's not yours. Oh, look. Yes. Cool. Gary's out. Our neighbour's out, so we could leave our dog out so I can bark all day. So we left Lexi out because she barks all day when we're not home, and we're one of those neighbours that people hate that have a dog that barks. And our neighbour Gary's got a boat next to us, and luckily he's out today. He's out on the water, so yeah, we don't have to worry about her barking too much. Classic, eh?
There she is.
She's our girl. Looking good, hasn't been used for a couple of months because I've been so busy.
Ow.
Oh, we've had a casualty. Owlie's died. Wow.
We thought
So
someone
actually, he's still got his bolt through his head.
Yeah.
Looks like the rope's broken.
Yeah. Oh well, that's better than it had been stolen.
We thought our owl had been stolen, but he hasn't.
Oh, it's still.
Worried about it. Is it filming? Do you remember when we used to rig the boat, Janet? We used to rip each other's head off? Yeah. Well, we haven't ripped each other's head off yet, we're almost rigged. Ready to go? Cool, that was pretty easy, wasn't it? I was only a dickhead once. Only once, honey.
Yeah, you've managed a few times without it even once.
It's actually good when we've got visitors, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
I'm not a dickhead at all. Only
every partner could relate.
like when we get home.
Every partner can relate to that one. People on board, people under control.
It's always good to have visitors because people behave themselves around visitors, including me. I'm a patient guy, but not really when I'm on a little boat, and yeah, it's hard work. But anyway, let's get going. Big birthday coming up, honey. No? Two minutes out, dolphins.
Listen to the kids on the boats, they're so excited. Sitting on the nuts.
Yeah, in front of the bow of Port Venture over here.
Oh.
Cool, eh?
Yeah, very cool.
Oh, it's good to be out of a tent, honey.
I bet.
Especially when you get scenes like this.
And there's one way over there. There's one here too, look. Oh, look.
Baby, that one there. It's a car.
Yeah. You reckon? It's on its own. Why would it be a car? There we go.
There. That. Across in front of us. Hey, hello, fella. Welcome to my world. Watch your sunglasses when you.
Yeah.
All we do now is coffee. Don't care about the wind.
Oh, sorry. Back in my
Going
hole.
to do our obligatory YouTube coffee spot that we absolutely hate watching people make coffee on YouTube. It just seems to be a good filler for a couple of minutes, so I'm only going to give you 30 seconds, but here's Janet's obligatory YouTube coffee spot that everybody does on sailing channels. So I reckon we should ban the coffee making filler. It's like seafood extender. It's like crab meat in seafood bloody plates and rock melon in fruit salad. It's just a filler.
You don't have to drink it.
True, but it is true.
It's a big part of life.
It is a big part of life, but it doesn't have to be a big part of YouTube videos, does it?
Stop it, old man.
Bit like sanding.
Old man, stop it. You sound like an old man, stop it.
I'm an old man.
Stop acting like one. You tell me off for saying that.
Just had a raft of penguins.
They're still out there.
Behind us, look at them. Fairy penguins, little penguins we call them now. I'm not allowed to call them fairy penguins.
I don't know why.
Ready? Here we go. In the middle of a race and we're losing. Kalala Bay Yacht Club, the Jervis Bay Cruising Yacht Club, having a race. We're actually third place there for one leg, just because we jumped in on the second leg. Got Moon Dance coming down towards us, a junk rig. Doug will be happy with this. This one's moored a couple 100 metres down from our house. Try and get a bit closer to him. Hopefully he doesn't dump his sails before we get to him. He's doing a big downwinder at the moment. Heading home, had a pretty nice sail, haven't we, Dylan? Running a nice little downwind run down to Huskisson, and it was a pretty nice day. We had pretty much 15 to 16 knots of wind. We didn't expect any, and then it just gusted up and still blowing around about 12 knots. So time to go home because it's going to get to 20 here today. So yeah, great day out.